You know what I think is kind of dope? The brand new pitch clock for baseball. Does wonders for the game. Love watching it in high speed now. So you know what it's now a good time to reminisce on? The single longest inning in MLB history. And trust me, a pitch clock would not have saved it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Stark Raving Sports. My name is SRS Fico. As always, if you could subscribe to the channel, it really helps us out a bunch. Love you. The date was May 8th, 2004. The Detroit Tigers are in Arlington, Texas to play the Texas Rangers. This was a weird time for both of these teams. The Tigers, 14-15 through this point of the season, had been rejoicing considering they were only 2 losses short of the modern record the year before. And the Rangers were in the middle of that weird gap they had of 11 years without a playoff appearance while still having a bunch of dudes who could mash. We'll talk about a lot of these guys in this video, don't worry. Up until the moment this game turned into a Twilight episode and pitching died forever, there were 4 innings completed that night. The Tigers held a 6-4 lead by beating up on Rangers starter R.A. Dickey 8 years before we decided that R.A. had to stand for really awesome. Yeah. Now, you mathematicians out there might have already figured this out, but the longest inning in MLB history was the 5th inning of this game. I'm not going to spoil how long the game actually was as far as time until the very end, because I need to suckle that sweet, sweet watch time out of you. But what I am going to do to illustrate its unbelievable, incomprehensible length is just give you the result of every single plate appearance that encompassed it. Every last one of them. Because honestly, that's probably the best and maybe even the only way to properly illustrate the ungodly length of the longest inning in league history. This is what Major League Baseball can look like without a clock of any kind. Carlos Pena started us off with a walk. You may know him as the MLB Network analyst who got annoyed by Joe Gatto doing push-ups on set.
Dude, he's in the shot, bro.
After this, Carlos Guillen walked. Then Bobby Higginson walked. Craig Monroe hits an RBI single to score Pena and Guillen. And then Omar Infante walks. You probably could have seen this coming, but the Rangers then make a pitching change since you probably can see there's still no outs in frame. The new pitcher they bring in then starts off by giving up an RBI single to Alex Sanchez that scores 2 more runs. Fernando Vina is then hit by an 0-2 pitch from this brand new pitcher. Oh boy. Hall of Famer Pudge Rodriguez then hits an infield single that scores Mr. Boyo over there on third. And after all of this, there's still 0 outs. Rondell White then finally strikes out as the universe mercifully grants the Rangers and the Rangers fans who had been descending into madness up until this point their very first out of the 5th inning. Oh hey, would you look at that. Carlos Pena is up again with the bases loaded and he cashes in 2 runs with an RBI single. Carlos Guillen then has a productive RBI ground out in his next at bat, bringing the total runs in this inning to 8. Bobby Higginson then rips another single, but thankfully no more runs score. The Rangers have to pull the plug again for the 2nd time in the inning and make a pitch change. The 3rd pitcher of this inning is a breath of fresh air and retires Craig Monroe on just 1 pitch. And with that, finally, the top of the 5th inning is over. 8 runs, 4 walks, a hit by pitch, 5 hits to just 3 outs. And you want to know the craziest part? We have not even covered half of the runs that the 5th inning of this game had to offer. You're not out of the woods yet. This is still going. You would think the Tigers entering the bottom of the 5th inning up 14-4 is one of the safest leads you could have. But I mean, you saw the title of this video. They didn't hold it. Michael Young opens up the bottom of the 5th inning with a base hit. Hank Blaylock then smokes one over the center field fence, which is something he did a lot during this time. Alfonso Soriano hits a ground rule double, and then a man named Herbert Perry steps up to the plate and crushes the 2nd straight 2-run homer of the inning. 4 batters, 4 runs for the Rangers so far. Mark Teixeira then works a walk on a 3-2 count, and the Tigers go for their first pitching change of the inning. Brian Jordan then worked a walk of his own. Let me pause this for just a second. Do you mind if I do a very quick tangent about Brian Jordan? Psst. I'm gonna do it anyway. Did you know that Brian Jordan also had 3 seasons and 5 interceptions in the NFL with the Atlanta Falcons? After his career, he went into doing TV, where he definitely kept a straight face when a security guy wiped out behind him on air. But in this game, he's just another base runner who's gonna score eventually. Crazy. Eric Young works the 3rd straight walk of this inning. All 3 of them from the same pitcher as his first 3 batters he faced in the game. And then, bada bing, of course, they made a pitching change. David DeLucci singles 2 runs in the very first pitch this poor new pitcher throws. Jared Laird rips a single of his own to score the 7th Rangers run of this inning. And ladies and gentlemen, there are still no outs. 9 batters, and they've all gotten on base. The entire Rangers lineup won their individual 1v1 matchups against the Tigers pitching. After this, Michael Young struck out swinging. It's fine though. Alfonso Soriano rips another 2-run single for the Rangers, one of his 6 hits on that night. A rare 6-for-6 game for Soriano, proving that there was just some magic in the air that night. And in this inning in particular, both teams somehow managed to tap into it. MLB legend Herbert Perry lines up another RBI hit into center field, bringing the Rangers' 10th run of the inning in. And just like that, it's now a tie game. Before getting 2 outs in the inning, the Rangers managed to destroy a 10-run deficit. Could you possibly imagine the emotions of being a Rangers fan here? Also, could you possibly imagine the emotions of the Tigers fans here? After this, the Tigers bring in their 4th pitcher of the inning. Their 4th. And this pitcher's name is Craig Dingman. With a name like that, this guy was born to play baseball. Dingman walks Mark Teixeira to load the bases yet again. Bases loaded, 1 out, and 10 runs already scored for the Rangers. With one swing of that bat, they could have a 14-run inning and counting with just 1 out. That would put this inning in the top 5 highest scoring innings of all time if they can pull that off. But with 1 out, they could just keep adding. I mean, granted, this inning is already going down in the history books, but they could have not only the longest inning of all time, but also the highest scoring all at the same time. But then Brian Jordan comes up to the plate and immediately hits it into the ground for a double play. 3 outs, innings over, just like that. Let's do a quick recap. This was the first inning in MLB history where both teams scored at least 8 runs. 28 batters stepped into the box, 9 of them walked, 13 of them got hits, 2 of those being home runs, and 18 of those 28 batters scored. All of that versus just 6 outs. This very well may be a glimpse into what the worst possible pitching night can look like if it's not just, a bunch of wild pitches or something. 7 pitchers stepped onto the mound and fired off 100 pitches. 100 pitches in 1 inning. There's starting pitchers who won't even throw 100 pitches in a successful dominant start. Greg Maddux once completed a full 9-inning game with just 78 pitches. And in this inning, the Rangers and Tigers combined for 101 innings. And now finally, as promised, the runtime of this inning. You ready? 1 hour and 6 minutes. For 1 inning. In 1919, the Giants and Phillies played an entire 9-inning game in 15 minutes shorter than the 5th inning of this Tiger-Rangers game on May 8th. You could have theoretically watched an entire 9-inning game and 15 side talk videos, and the same inning would have still been going without any delays. The Rangers would wind up winning this game 16-15 in 10 innings. The full game actually managed to stay 1 minute short of 4 hours long, even with the single inning that took 1 hour and 6. Michael Young hit a walk-off single for Texas. Also, fun fact about the pitcher who gave up the walk-off, he was a little over a year away from supposedly attacking 5 people with a machete and some gasoline. But you want to know what the real focus was at the end of the game? Michael Young hitting the walk-off single left Alfonso Soriano and his 6-for-6 day in the on-deck circle. Was society robbed of the Alfonso Soriano 7-for-7 game? Who knows? Probably doesn't matter anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it as always. And hey, if you want, follow me on Twitter. It'll be in the description. Anyways, have a lovely day. Peace.